Morning to all. Let us begin with our last lecture of this first chapter. Okay, in previous lecture we have taken one supplementary lecture to understand the concept of determinacy. Okay, so in this lecture we are going to see in detail the analysis of indeterminate truss. So content of this lecture is a recap of lecture number 5 and that supplementary lecture which we have conducted. Then lecture outcome of this lecture, then numerical problem, and with the summary we'll close this lecture. Okay, so if you remember in fifth lecture we have taken a cantilever truss like this. Okay, and we have found out vertical deflection at joint U3. Okay, and in last supplementary lecture we have seen concept of determinacy and indeterminate truss, or concept of determinacy of truss. Okay, so in continuation with that, so lecture outcome of today's lecture are: first, you will be able to analyze indeterminate truss using unit load method, and lastly calculate deflection of indeterminate truss. Okay, so we are going to see this problem. Okay, so this is our today's problem, in which it is stated that analyze truss shown in figure and find out deflection at point C in horizontal direction. In this problem we have to determine degree of indeterminacy. So for that we have seen that formula for degree of indeterminacy is equal to I is equal to m plus r minus 2j. This is our formula for di. So if you calculate in this stress particular total number of members, so we are having 4 plus 2, that means AB, BC, CD, AD, these are 4 members, and 2 diagonal members, that is AC and BD. Okay, so total number of members here in this problem are 6. Okay, and total number of reactions will be at support A, which is hinged one, there will be 2 reactions, and at support D, which is roller one, there will be 1 reaction. So total number of R here are going to be 3 minus 2 times number of joint. If you calculate, there are 4 numbers of joint A, B, C, D. Okay, so 6 plus 3 it will be 9, and 4 to the 8. So degree of indeterminacy in this problem is going to be 1. So that we can say that this truss is indeterminate truss. Okay, because of this di value or degree of indeterminacy is equal to 1, we can say that this is indeterminate truss to first degree. Okay, to first degree, how we have determined that? Because di is equal to 1. That's why we are saying that this truss is indeterminate to first degree. Okay, so in problem it is asked that to find out deflection, horizontal deflection at point C. So to finding out horizontal deflection at point C, as per our usual procedure, we have to first of all find out forces in all member. Okay, and after that we have to apply unit load in direction in horizontal direction at point C, and then by using that formula of deflection is equal to summation of PKL divided by AE. By using that formula you can find out deflection at point C. But there is some difference between analysis of determinate truss and indeterminate truss. So first of all, we are going to see how to analyze this indeterminate truss, and then that second part of finding out deflection at point C we are going to see. Okay, so there is one correction here. This area is given as 2 centimeter square, not 20 centimeter. Sorry, this area here is given as 2 centimeter square. Okay, so this is one correction. So now we will see how to find out forces in each member of indeterminate truss. Okay, so for finding out forces in each member of truss, let us say P is the total force or final force in the member of indeterminate truss, which is denoted by P dash plus K dash into X. Okay, I am deliberately using this P dash and K dash notation here. Why, you are going to see very soon. But remember, formula for final force in a member of an indeterminate truss is given as P is equal to P dash plus K dash into X. Okay, so now what is the meaning of P dash and K dash? So here if you see, this truss is indeterminate to first degree. Okay, So that means it indicates that there is one extra member present in this truss, which is making this truss unable by because of which we are unable to analyze this entire truss. Okay, if you take summation fy0 summation m0, by that you can find out ra, ha, rd this value, but you cannot select any one joint to analysis. Okay, why? For example, in this problem, if suppose you have selected or you have worked out these reactions here, this reaction ra, then this reaction ha, and this reaction rd. Okay, so as per our usual procedure. Okay, so let us start, or we will directly see how to find out those reaction first of all. So what we will do here, first of all we will calculate. So if you take summation of horizontal forces is equal to 0, so ha is directly going to be 10 kilonewton, value of ra and rd. Okay, so if you take summation of moment about point a is equal to 0, so for that if you see, this rd will act in anti-clockwise direction. Okay, so rd into 4, and this force of 10 kilonewton will act in clockwise direction, so that will be positive 10 into 3, and rd will be minus rd into 4. Okay, or in short, if I will directly write down here, it will be rd into 4 is equal to 10 into 3, which will give us rd value is equal to 7.5 kilonewton. Okay, this value of rd is going to be 7.5 kilonewton, and if you take summation of fy is equal to 0. Okay, so initially I know that this reaction is going to be downward, so directly I have taken sign for ra in downward direction. So if you take summation fy is equal to 0, so it is going to be ra is equal to rd. Okay, so ra, because it is going downward, and so minus ra plus rd is going to be 0 because no any vertical force is acting. So ra is ultimately going to be 7.5 kilonewton in downward direction. Okay, so that also we will show here. This ra is 7.5 kilonewton and rd is also 7.5 kilonewton. Okay, now as per our usual analysis of truss, which joint we have to select here first of all? So if you select a joint, please see, while selecting or while in method of joint, first for selecting any joint, what logic we are utilizing? We are seeing that total number of unknowns acting at that joint should be equal to 2 or less than 2. It should not be more than 2. Okay, so at a joint there are three members meeting, a, b, a, c, and ad, so we cannot select a joint. D joint, so at D joint also there are three members meeting, DA, DB, and DC. So D joint also cannot be selected. C joint also we are having three members, CB, CA, and CD. So C joint also cannot be selected. So only remaining joint is the B joint, but at B joint also there are three members meeting, that is BA, BD, and BC. So we cannot select B joint also. So this is difficulty in case of an indeterminate truss. You cannot select a particular joint by for analysis of truss. Okay, so this is difficulty, and that's why indeterminate truss analysis of indeterminate truss is somewhat different than the determinate truss. Now we are going to see how to analyze this truss. Okay, so here first of all what we will do, we will find out these angles. Okay, so let us denote this angle CAD as theta, this angle as theta. So value of tan theta is going to be 3 by 4. Okay, so theta will be I think 36.86. Theta is 36.86. Sine of theta, if you take, it is going to be 0.6, and cos of theta is 0.799, which is equal to 0.8. Okay, so this angle made by C, this angle CAD we are going to denote by theta. Okay, so now while starting this problem I have mentioned that this formula. Okay, and this is very one important formula. So now we are going to see meaning of each term one by one. So P is the final force in member, so that is not of our concern. Our concern is only about P dash and K dash and X, value of X. Okay, so in this problem it is, we have calculated that degree of indeterminacy is equal to 1. Okay, that means we are having one extra member in this particular truss. So what we will do, we will remove any one member from this entire truss, so that that truss will be determinate truss. Okay, so analysis of indeterminate truss is such like this. First of all, we have to see what is your degree of indeterminacy. So in this case, degree of indeterminacy is equal to 1. So we have to remove one member from this truss to make this truss first as a determinate truss. Okay, so from this total member, that means AB, AD, AC, BD, BC and CD, out of the 6 member we can remove any one member. Okay, so in this case let us say we will remove member BC. Okay, just for example you can remove any member. So let us say we will remove member AB. Okay, here I will give this analysis name as indeterminate analysis. What we are going to do, depending upon value of degree of indeterminacy, we are going to remove that number of members which is equal to degree of indeterminacy. So right now degree of indeterminacy is equal to 1. So we have to remove one member from this truss. So let us assume we will remove member BC. Okay, so here I will deliberately write down that remove member BC. Okay, so if I draw here after removing member BC, the truss will look like this. For this particular truss, if you calculate degree of indeterminacy, then you can see that due to this removal of BC, now degree of indeterminacy of this truss is equal to, okay, now we can see, or now you can take either joint B or joint C and analyze this truss. Okay, you can select joint B. Okay, if you select joint B, so here I will directly write down, because on joint B external forces are not acting, therefore this force in BA and force in this BD is going to be 0. Okay, after removing any one member from this truss, whatever member forces in this all the members of truss we are going to denote by letter P dash. Okay, so in this formula of P is equal to P dash plus Kx, this P dash is nothing but member forces in all member after removal of after removal of redundant member. Okay, so now whatever member forces all in all the members of trusses we are going to denote by P dash. So in that also this AB member force is 0, BD member force is 0, because if you select joint B and if you draw free body diagram of that joint B, external forces are not acting, therefore BA and BD are going to be 0. Now we will select this joint C. So here I will draw free body diagram for joint C. So 10 kilonewton is acting. So initially I will assume that this P dash CA and this force is P dash CD. Okay, why P dash specifically? Because we are finding out member forces by removing one member from this entire truss. So for first I will assume this P dash A as going away from joint or tensile one, and this P dash CD is going toward joint or compressive one. Okay, so if I resolve here, first if I resolve by taking summation of horizontal forces equal to 0, so I'm going to get P dash CA cos theta is equal to 10 kilonewton, which leads to P dash CA is equal to 12.5 kilonewton. Okay, so P dash CA is now my 12.5 kilonewton, And now if you take summation of this is due to summation of fx is equal to 0. If now take summation of fy is equal to 0, so in that case I'm going to get this p dash ca sine theta is equal to p dash cd. So if you put all the values of p dash ca which we have calculated recently and sine theta, you are going to get p dash cd is equal to 7.5 kilonewton. Okay, that same forces we will show in diagram also. So this p dash ca is tensile one and p dash cd is compressive one, and their values are p dash ca is 12.5 which is tensile, and p dash cd is 7.5 which is compressive. Okay, now we will select joint D. Okay, now if you select joint D, if you take summation of fy is equal to 0, then one vertical force of 7.5 kilonewton is acting and one downward force of one downward member force of 7.5 kilonewton is acting. That will cancel out to each other. Then this BD force is already 0, and on joint D horizontal load is not acting. Therefore we can directly say that this AD is equal to 0. Okay, now what we will do, we'll draw one table, and last member will be our removed member. Okay, whatever member we have removed from this truss, that we will write down at the last, because if you see BC member we have removed, that we will write down here at the last. So all the members I have written. Now next column will be P dash. Okay, P dash is nothing but member forces in all the members after removing that one member, one extra member. Okay, so we will write down that all member forces. Okay, lastly member force in BC. Okay, now if you see here member BC is not present at all, so we will directly write down member force in BC is equal to 0 because that member we have removed from this truss. Okay, now next in this formula we have found out P dash for all the members. Okay, now we will see what is the meaning of K dash. Okay, so that next column in this table will be K dash column. Okay, so now what is the meaning of K dash in analysis of indeterminate truss? First of all, or here I will draw the truss first of all. So now K dash is nothing but whichever member we have removed, on that member or in the line of that member we have to apply external load of 1 unit or 1 kilonewton. Okay, and same in direction at both the joints. Okay, so we have removed this member BC, so at point B and also at point C we have to apply load of 1 kilonewton. Okay, so let us take here, I will apply load of 1 kilonewton at joint B, and at joint C also I will apply load of 1 kilonewton. Okay, but what precaution you have to take? You have to just see that at the both joints load should be applied in same direction. That means at joint B load is going away from joint, therefore at joint C also load should go away from joint. Okay, so this is the difference in analysis of determinate truss and indeterminate truss. And now whatever member forces in all the members due to this unit load, that we will denote by K dash. Okay, so K dash is nothing but member forces in all the members due to this application of unit load at removed member, at the location of removed member. So we have removed this member BC. Okay, so at that location of member BC we will apply unit load of 1 kilonewton. You can assume any direction, it is going towards joint or going away from joint, but at both the location or at the both the joints load should be of same nature. That means at B joint load is going away from joint, at C joint also load should go away from joint. Now again we have to analyze this entire truss for this load of 1 kilonewton. So these forces are equal in magnitude and opposite in direction, so those will cancel out to each other. So ultimately these values of Ra, Rd and Ha is going to be 0. Why? Because these forces are equal in magnitude and opposite in direction. Therefore, all the reactions are going to be 0. Now we have to analyze this truss for this unit load of, or for this unit load. Okay, so first of all I will select joint C, denote these forces by K dash. Okay, so let me show those forces. First of all, I will assume this CA force going towards the joint, or tensile one, sorry, compressive one. So this I will denote by K dash CA, and this particular force I will assume going away from joint or tensile one. This I will assume, or I will name as K dash CD. Okay, and value of this external force is 1 kilonewton. Okay, so now if you take summation of Fx is equal to 0, you will get K dash CA cos theta is equal to 1 kilonewton. So which will give us K dash CA is equal to, so K dash CA is going to be 1.25, and if you take summation of Fy is equal to 0, that is going to give us K dash CA sin theta is equal to downward force of K dash CD. Okay, so now K dash CD is going to be 0.75. Okay, so that we will show in this diagram also. This K dash CA magnitude is 1.25, compressive one, and K dash CD magnitude is 0.75, tensile one. Okay, and due to symmetry, this member forces in BD will be equal to member force in AC, and member force in AB is equal to member force in CD. Okay, only remaining member is member AD. So for that member AD, you can select joint D. So if you take here summation of Fx is equal to 0, you are going to get 1.25 times cos theta is equal to K dash AD. So from this you can see that K dash AD is equal to 1.25 into cos theta is 0.8, so it is 1. Okay, so that also we will show here. 1 tensile 1. Okay, so I will write down each forces one by one in that table, these K forces. Okay, member is not there, but if you see, if you imagine, if you draw here imaginary member at member BC, okay, in the location of member BC, so you can see that from both the side force is going away from joint, which is nothing but a tensile force. So here what we will write down, force in member BC as -1. Okay, why -1? This is very important here, because if you draw imaginary member at in the location of member BC, you can see that there is force of 1 kilonewton acting from both the joint. If you see the nature of force, so it is tensile 1, that's why -1 we have written down. Okay, so next column. Okay, in this formula of final force P, we have found out this P dash value, we have found out this K dash value. Only remaining thing is X now. So for X, we are having one formula. So X is going to be summation of P dash K dash into L divided by AE divided by whole divided by summation of K dash square L divided by AE. In problem it is given that area of all the members are same, E is also going to be same. So this AE will get cancelled out to each other. So now formula for x is now summation of p dash k dash into L divided by summation of k square L. Okay, so in this table only, what we have to do, first of all, we have to find out values of, okay, before finding out values, I will write down here values of lengths for each member. So next column will be here p dash into k dash into L 0, and in that formula of x we will be needing summation of this column. Okay, summation of p dash k dash into L. So here only I will calculate that summation of p dash k dash into L. So that summation is minus 95. Okay, the summation is minus 95, and after that we will be needing another column, that is k square L. Okay, so if you see this formula, so we will be needing summation of k square L. So that, okay, so these are the values for k square L. If I take summation of this k square L, it is going to 7.008. So if I put here that summation of pkl by p dash k dash into L divided by summation of k dash k square L, so I am getting this value of x as 517. Okay, and now if you see in this formula, we have found out p dash k dash and x. Okay, so x will be common for all member, p dash and k dash will be different for each member. So now here in this table, if you see, will be final force p, which is equal to, sorry, p dash k dash plus kx. So that I will directly write down now here. So now this is our final forces in member considering that effect of indeterminacy. Now after this again we have to find out deflection at joint C. Okay, so at this particular point, point C, we have to now find out deflection. So how to find out that deflection? Again we have to apply unit load in the direction, unit load in the horizontal direction at joint C. Okay, and for that again we have to find out all the member forces for each and every member, but fortunately our given load, our analysis is only for force at C. So if you divide all the forces here in this table by 10 kilonewton, so you will get that our, now this is nothing but your analysis of the truss for indeterminate analysis. Okay, so now deflection at C, I will write down here, deflection at C is going to be summation of pkl divided by AE. Okay, so now P in each member we have found out. Now here this K and this K dash is different. I'll remember this K and this K dash is different. This K is nothing but our usual K, which we will find out by applying unit load at point C. Okay, so how to find out that unit load? Initially we have found out this P values. Okay, now K values will be just these P values divided by 10. So that will give us K value. So sorry, I have just forgot to mention that this formula of x is nothing but negative summation of pkl divided by a and divided by summation of k square l divided by a. Okay, I have forgot to mention that. So now this pkl is nothing but minus 95. So that minus 95 and this formula of minus, that will be positive. I forgot to mention that, sorry about that. So this x formula for x is equal to minus summation of pkl divided by ae whole divided by summation of k square l divided by ae. Okay, so because of that, x is positive here. Okay, so now here by dividing each column by 10, I will first write down here values of k, and now pkl by ae. So I will calculate this in Newton and mm and write down values. So pkl into 10 raised to 6, that means this p whichever given into 10 raised to 3, then K as it is and L is given in meter, so that will be converted in mm. So I will directly write down here values of pkl, and if I take summation of pkl, so it is going to be 33.6 into 10 raised to 6. And finally deflection at C is nothing but pkl divided by ae. So pkl, summation of pkl is 33.6 into 10 raised to 6 divided by a for all the member is given as 2 centimeter square. So if you convert that in mm square, it is going to be 200 into e is 2.1 into 10 raised to 5 it is given. So if you calculate that, it is going to be 0.84 mm. Okay, so this is our final answer for deflection at point C. Okay, so what we have done, so we will summarize this lecture. First, we have calculated this degree of indeterminacy. After finding out degree of indeterminacy, we have seen one new formula, that is final force in member is equal to P dash plus K dash into X. Okay, so we have found out first of all reaction. So depending upon degree of indeterminacy, we have to remove number of members from your truss. Okay, so in this case degree of indeterminacy is equal to 1, that's why we have removed one member and analyzed the truss and given the forces in each member as P dash. Okay, after that we have applied unit load in the location of removed member. Okay, same in magnitude but and same in direction at both the ends. Okay, and again once again we have analyzed this entire truss and we have now given that member forces as K dash. So in this table we have all written down all the values of P dash and K dash, and we have seen formula for X is minus X is equal to minus summation of P dash K dash L divided by AE whole divided by summation of K dash square L divided by AE. So in this table, after finding out values of P dash K dash L and K square L K dash square L, we have taken summation and come up with the value of X, and final force in member P is equal to now P dash plus K dash into X. So this is nothing but means up to finding out this value of P is nothing but analysis of indeterminate truss, and after that we asked to find out deflection at point C. So we have found out member forces at member forces in each member by applying force of 10 kilonewton at point C. So fortunately deflection is also asked in that direction. So by dividing all the P by 10, you are getting now K values, and now deflection, and that means final formula for deflection is now summation of PKL divided by AE. So this P is final force, K is member forces in all member by application of unit load in the direction of deflection asked. Okay, so that finally we have found out as 0.84. Okay, so with this what we have learned so far in this today's lecture: apply unit load method for indeterminate truss and calculate deflection of indeterminate truss. And these are the lecture learning outcome or topic learning outcome. Evaluate, first is evaluate forces in member of truss. So I think that after completion of this entire 6 lecture you are able to evaluate member forces. Then second is apply principle of maximum strain energy to truss. That means that first lecture whatever we have studied, that is application of unit force or application of that U formula of deflection, that is PKL divided by AE. This is nothing but the outcome of application of maximum strain energy. Then I think you are able to calculate this deflection at various points in trusses. With this also we have seen and analyze truss for determinate and indeterminate truss for deflection. Okay, so after completion of this particular lecture topic, you are able to do all of these things. Okay, so